Hello, Homestead. This is Greg Giglio, principal of Homestead High School, and this is Friday, January 26th, the weekly video message. It is, believe it or not, the last Friday in January, already on to February. Boy, things are definitely moving fast. And we are going to move on to some shout outs and recognition. So we had another one for Miss Natalie Della Santina. She's a science teacher. And they basically said, why isn't she getting more shout outs? I don't know, but she actually has gotten a lot that's on here. So she's definitely getting some. So thank you for saying she deserved a shout out. We also had one for Miss Stanwood, who is our French teacher. She's going out on a maternity leave, and so just wanted this individual wanted to shout out her great enthusiasm and care for students. We'll miss her teaching and wishing her much joy when her baby arrives, and I would like to second that. We don't often put a lot of students on here, but I have a special shout out for one of our seniors, Arnav Chakravarthy. He was the only student from FUHSD, from the Fremont Union High School District, that was in the top 300 students for the Regeneron Science Talent Search, and now he is in the top 40. And so it's pretty amazing. That's an awesome accomplishment. So congratulations, and we're really proud of you. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the great things you do, and I'm not even gonna try reading this project title because I'm probably going to mispronounce half the things in there and show you that I'm not a science person in terms of is obviously as good as Arnav here. So, but that looks pretty amazing and sounds, I don't even know what it sounds like because it's pretty amazing. So anyway, congratulations. And we're pulling for you. And we thank you for the great work you're doing and the recognition that you're bringing to Homestead High School and some of our amazing teachers. So thank you for all that. Going to move on to questions and concerns. So is there any plan for adding back the mural to the pool area? It looks so plain without it. No, we're not going to we're not talking about adding that exact mural back. That one was pretty old. It's about 30-ish years old, believe it or not. So it was looking a little dated, a little faded. It would have cost a lot to even try to fix it. So that's why it was painted over. Even just getting a normal mural right now is very expensive. It is something that, we are considering for some other spots because we did get rid of the ones out front. Not sure. We do have a contact, but that is not something that's in the budget for right now. So yes, it's going to look a little plain for a bit. Sorry about that. There was a clarification. Actually, this was a little bit longer thing, but I guess they were wondering when the announcement for spring sports was going to come out. It had come out since this person sent this. There's that information is going out, but here is a list of all the different starts for spring sport. It is starting here the end of January, beginning of February. We've got all these different things going on. So if you need to pause the video and take a look and write down the one you want to do, go for it. But wishing you all the best luck. This is a very busy time for sports because our winter sports are ending and our spring sports are starting, and it really has an impact on our field. So it's on all our facilities. So going to be looking at a little bit of craziness in terms of all that scheduling, but again, an exciting time of the year for both our winter and spring sports. This one said, hey, so many people are sick. Will masks be encouraged again? Well, we always actually encourage you to wear a mask. You're allowable. There's nothing saying you can't wear one. We just can't mandate it yet because we have to wait for advice from the county. They have not put back saying that we should be mandatory at this point. Although I have to say, we really went away from masks. I'm seeing a few more starting to pop up. We're definitely, people are being respectful when they're sick. They are wearing masks so they don't spread it and, that kind of thing. But again, it's up to you and your family whether you want to wear a mask. We can't mandate that. The county is the one that does. But if they come back and say we've got to mandate it, we will follow their guidance and we will definitely post that. But if in case you want a mask, we do have some in the front office. We also have tests, although we're currently out of tests right now, where there's a big rush on them as people were sick, so they were testing themselves. So we only have a few left right now, but we have others on order, so hopefully those will be coming in soon. But we don't currently have some. So if you really do need to test, you probably should buy your own, or come see if there's a couple. There are a couple on the shelf still right now. I can look out my window and see. But we are about to run out of those. But we will get more. This one was saying, does HHS provide resources for information about summer jobs or internships for teens? If so, where can we find it? Does HHS have any connections with local businesses or organizations to recruit high school students specifically? So the best place for this is if you go to our virtual college and career center page on our website. It looks like this, what you're seeing right there. And you'll see it says find local opportunities here. You click on things. You can click on some of these opportunities. There's applications for things, internships, a whole bunch of them. That isn't even all of them. There's a bunch more that go on there. But yeah, definitely we post those there. We try to I encourage people to go back and look at them and get people. We do have our college and career fair coming up, which is another place where people can make connections. Um, but we definitely try and post things. If you're looking for postings, that's your place to go. Underneath the College and Career Center on the virtual College and Career Center page. That's where you'll find it. What is the status of schedule next year? Will there be 8 periods? There, you've been probably hearing a little bit about this over time. The Teachers Association did do a look into a study session to look into what it would be to go to an 8-period day. They did vote on whether to stay with 7 periods or whether to go to 8. They voted to go to 8 periods. But what then has to happen is there has to be um, something. I lost the train of thought. The next step is that we have to negotiate it as the management side and negotiate and the union side, and then ultimately the school board has to approve or disapprove. So there are a few more steps. It's probably not going to happen next year. I don't see that happening, but it could happen in the year after that. So not 24, 25, but maybe 25, 26. So that's kind of where that one stands. What was the threat to Homestead and the FUHSD schools on the 24th? How was it resolved? Well, it was resolved positively, I'm glad to say. So I know these are all very stressful times when this happens. It's not a favorite time of me being a principal. But again, this one definitely resolved in a positive manner. So I'm happy for that. Basically, we received an anonymous, non-specific threat that mentioned all 5 schools. And people say, well, what did it say? Tell me everything on it. I can't tell you everything that was on it because actually the police ask us not to. They want us to hold some information back because it is an ongoing investigation. And so they don't want us to reveal some details that might actually impede their investigation. So as this is as much as I'm allowed to say, but just know that it was, it was this email. It came in anonymously. It had a threat, but it wasn't what was considered a credible threat. And how we came to that is all the principals got together with the district office and our 3 law enforcement agencies, because Lynbrook is in San Jose. We have the San Jose PD, Cupertino, Monte Vista, and Homestead are in Cupertino. So we have the Santa Clara Sheriffs. We also have Sunnyvale PD, which is also part of overseas Fremont. So we had the 3 of those folks together. They were looking at it. They went back up the chain to their commanders and said, this is what it says. And their 3 concurring opinions was that this was a hoax. And so they said, you don't need to close school. You should do school. You can do whatever you want, but we don't recommend that you close school because we don't think it's credible. However, and we agreed, the district said, yep, we think that that's an appropriate response. We're going to take it seriously, though. That's why they asked for law enforcement to be around. They were here as a presence early in the morning. They left. They were circulating to various sites. They were around. There were much more police officers around, and we had phone numbers of officers that we don't normally have. And so if something happened, we could call them immediately. So we definitely had that. But after that specific day, basically, they were moving on. They can't stay here every single day. But they are definitely still investigating some of the leads and some of the things, trying to follow up. And we had some names and things that were thrown at us here. So we were trying to do our own investigation in coordination with the police. Those went nowhere. They turned out to be, kids kind of saying, oh, I think it's this kid, but it wasn't that kind of thing. But police are still investigating, and understand that if we do get the person responsible, if they're a student, they're going to face expulsion and legal consequences. If they're not a student, then they're probably going to just be facing the legal consequences. But this is not a situation I would want any individual to be in, because it comes with pretty serious consequences, because this was a major disruption. We had probably close to 200 kids who didn't come to school that day. And so plus, putting everybody on nerve, putting out the police out there. So that is a major disruption. So again, glad it turned out to be nothing. We're still going to be paying attention, though. We don't kind of quite ever go off of, alert. We're always looking for things. So if anything else, other information comes up, please let us know. But police are still investigating. And if something comes up, we will deal with it. And again, I just want to thank everybody's patience and understanding, and know that that was a difficult time. So thank you for doing so. I'm going to move on to traffic reminders. So even though it's sunny and a little bit chilly out today on Friday, there is rain in the forecast. So again, as always, please slow down, look around. Everyone, it's harder to stop. It's harder to maneuver in the rain. So we want to make sure everyone gets here safe and leaves here safe. We have been getting some complaints from neighbors as well as even some of our own teachers about when students leave at lunchtime or before or after school, doing the typical kind of teenager revving engines, zipping down the road, playing loud music. So again, please talk with your kids about asking them to be considerate of neighbors. We will also do the same. We might start trying to crack down a little bit. So please try and, help cooperate and be considerate and be a good neighbor for us. Also, this one is an issue that's come up lately. We do have charging stations in the student lot. There's also some on the access road that's for staff, but in the student lot, we're asked that people only park there if they are actively charging their car. We are starting to get to the point where a lot more electric vehicles are coming. It is a pretty good deal to get the stuff done here, you get your car charged here. So we're glad we're able to provide that service. But definitely, if you are not needing to park, you're not needing to charge, please don't park there. Even if you're an electric vehicle and saying, oh, I'm an electric vehicle, I can park here. We want to make sure that people who are charging can charge. So please do that. We're also going to start making some announcements here at school and even put some warnings, notices on people's cars who aren't charging. So that should be coming. So hopefully we can get that squared away. Some big important dates coming up. We've got 8th grade information and course selection night coming up on the 29th. That's always a fun night to go and say hi to the incoming 9th graders. They come in, parents and students come in wide-eyed, especially if it's their first time. But it's a lot of fun, and it's one of my favorite nights, to be honest. We have course information fair and senior meetings at tutorial next week. That's about trying to get your current freshmen, sophomores, and juniors to pick their classes for next year. What other sort of, not to start to pick it, but to start to get information about picking it. And then we meet with seniors to start discussing all kinds of things, because there's lots of good stuff coming up for seniors. As I mentioned, we have our career fair coming up. We have it currently over about 40 people coming in to give speeches. We'd love to get more like 50 or 60. So if you would love to be a career speaker, email us, email our college and career counselor, Shay Bellamy. If you have some friends, neighbors, children, ex-Homestead folks that would, are doing some interesting stuff, we would love to have them come over and talk with our kids, because it is really an exciting day for the kids to hear all sorts of good stuff. So let us know. Even better, we got our winter break coming up after that. We do have another advisory coming up in the end of February. And then just so you're aware, our first grading period of the second semester, or what we call the 4th grading period, which is a progress report grades, are coming up on the 1st of March. So again, time starts flying this second semester. So, again, make sure that it's never too early to make sure your grades are doing okay and that you're making up work and talking with your teacher. So now is better time to talk than in the end of February when it's coming down to the end of it. So again, thank you for all the information and questions that you guys sent in. Our link is still active, so please send those in. Please give us your shout outs. Please give us your questions or your suggestions. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's supposed to be dry, so let's enjoy that while we can. And we'll see you next week. Take care.